Hi.
Hello.
We don't have
See.
video.
Oh, we don't have video yet. Just one second.
Hello.
Hi,
You said
Dominic.
let there be light, and there was light.
Yes. How are you doing?
All right, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Great.
Good.
Love the t-shirt. Awesome day. Today we're basically discussing women's roles. I'd like to get some background on you guys when we're done, Anatomic.
Okay.
Can we go through the origins of this project? Is it a collaborative idea to come up with it, or did one of you pitch it to the other?
Actually, Women's World was written by Gamma's writers.
Okay.
They developed everything, and we sort of.
We took the script and turned it into a movie.
Your first impressions when you got the script?
It was a lot of fun, honestly, a lot of fun, really different. We really like the sort of sci-fi aspect of it.
Dan, your thoughts when you hear there's no men in the world?
I thought it was pretty funny and fun to play with.
Are you guys involved in the casting and all that stuff too? Is there a lot of pre-production for this?
Yes, yeah. Generally speaking, like what they'll do for our productions for them, they'll provide us sort of a target casting list, but it's usually names. And we usually sort of, well, this project in particular, we were kind of picky and we selected our favorites out of those for sure.
So would you look at a specific character and say, Marika would be perfect for this, or Anna, or something?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And was that a long process for you to get them, or did you have any people maybe you wanted you didn't get?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like people kind of came together pretty quick.
Yeah, it did come together pretty quickly because we had production was sort of on hold for just a little bit, and we picked it up a bit later. And we had a short window of time to sort of pull the rest of the details together, but it all came together great, and we really love the cast.
How long of a shoot was it?
It was
6
6 days
days.
total. No, actually 7. We had 2 half days, so 6-7 days.
And was it shot in order, or did you guys?
No, not at all. It was actually it was quite complicated because of all of the intersecting stories, and a lot was shot out of sequence. It was sort of all over the place.
And you mentioned it was shot out of sequence. Was that just because of the storyline? Was that because of the people's availability? Was that just the way it worked out?
Kind of everything, really.
I mean, what was wonderful about Gamma is they pulled all of the sort of pre-production materials together for us. So we had these great resources that we were able to build off of. And so they actually helped map out, their suggestions as to how we can bring it all together. We did have to make some adjustments along the way because we did have one day that sort of fell apart, but that happens in production sometimes.
Yeah.
So we were delayed a little bit, but yeah.
In a collaborative process like this, are you strictly responsible for one part of it and Dan does the other, or do you guys just kind of feed off each other?
I think we actually really complement one another as far as our skills are concerned, and what we do together, how we work together. So really, I sort of handle, pre-production, planning, that sort of thing, and Dan is all camera. But we do work together as far as directing is concerned. Like, I'm not the director, he's not the director. Anatomic are the directors.
And did Gamma give you a specific outline of what they wanted, or did you guys get the script and interpret it and then just do your thing?
They gave it to us, and I'd say we put our own spin on things for sure. We had a lot of fun. There were really fun things that we did sort of on the spur of the moment, got some fun stuff.
Was it a big script?
Yeah, for us it was.
Yeah. We've done some pretty lengthy scripts ourselves for our own projects, but it was pretty lengthy.
When you shoot dialogue, do you one camera, two cameras? Do you go back and shoot? Do you do a lot of rehearsal? Do you?
Yeah.
2 cameras, lots of rehearsal. Really what I like to do is make sure the talent just has their lines down. Of course, we first start with character development, but make sure they've got their lines down, rehearse the hell out of it, and then make it happen.
As directors and production people, do you like doing 50 takes, or do you believe in the spontaneity of getting the first or second one and you're done?
Ideally, the smallest amount of takes possible.
So practice is important.
Absolutely, because if we have them do take after take after take after take,
It just gets weird and
yeah.
stale.
Pushed, or stale. That's a good way to put it.
And was there, I guess, different dialogue for the safe word version as opposed to the non-safe word, or is it just the sex the only thing different from the 2 versions?
It was same dialogue, same everything along the way, but there was a lot of safe for work stuff, a lot of safe for work, which was actually a lot of fun to play with, a lot of fun.
Do you prefer doing, I guess, non-hardcore at this point as opposed to, if you shoot a lot of hardcore all the time, I don't know, sometimes it gets monotonous.
Yeah, I mean, it can, but I'd say we really enjoy shooting both, wouldn't you say? I mean, having we do really like story-driven stuff. That's always been our favorite, even with our custom productions for ourselves. It's always a lot of fun for us, and yeah.
Did you do the dialogue first and do the sex at the end of the day, or did you do the dialogue, then the sex, then so forth?
Really it varied, because we usually had 2 sex scenes that we shot per day. So it just sort of depended on all of the pieces coming together and how we mapped it out.
And of the initial concept and idea, how much did you guys actually end up getting?
I'm sorry.
Of the idea, the concept, sometimes you're not able to shoot something for budget reasons or something. So the finished product, how much of that original idea did you get? Am I making sense?
I'm not sure. You're actually a little muffled, and we lost.
Probably my mic.
It's hard to hear you.
What about now? Any better?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Typically, when you go into a production, I do productions myself. You have this great idea, and invariably life gets in the way. Someone doesn't show up, you fall off a scene. So from that original idea you guys had, how much did you end up with when you did the finished product?
Ooh, how much did we end up with? Wow. You would know better.
In terms of
Overall script, overall story, just.
I would say a lot of it was shot.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. We might have changed things around just because a certain circumstances work better in a situation, but I mean, we mostly stick to the script.
Yeah.
And are you involved in the pre-production and post, or do you just shoot it and turn it into Gamma?
We're not involved in post. So we deliver the content, and the team there takes it from there.
Specific people, could you give me some ideas? Like Kenna James, what was she like to work with on this project?
She was awesome.
She was fantastic, actually.
She was really excited about it and was having fun with her character.
Oh yeah, she had a lot of fun. It was actually our first time working with her, and so it was such a pleasure to develop this character with her because she was so into it. It was fantastic.
Anna Fox?
Anna Fox? Oh, Anna's always amazing. She
Yeah.
always knocks it out of the park.
A typical sex scene for you. Do you guys shoot 4 versions? Do you shoot 1 version and like maybe have 2 cameras rolling so you get hard and soft at the same time?
We don't shoot. We didn't shoot any softcore for this, so
we usually don't shoot softcore.
no.
We might have softcore sections that that will make sure we have no boobies.
Yeah. There are some parts in the scripts that just they're scripts in general. Some is softcore, but not really the sex wise. It's not really.
Yeah,
a
we don't
thing.
shoot specific softcore.
Yeah. So we have 2 cameras going. Dan and Blade.
Any funny behind the scenes stuff you guys remember? Maybe stuff that happened during the shoot?
Oh God, there's always funny shit that happens. Having that many girls together, especially one day in particular, I think we had, either 7 or 8 actors on set. And the energy was it was hilarious. They were doing funny stuff and we got a lot of great BTS. I'm not sure if or when that sort of stuff will come out, but it was, oh my God, it's so fun. The energy is so high when you have that many women together.
I'm not real familiar with Anatomic. When you guys shoot, do you prefer a closed set? Do you prefer things to be mellow or easy, or how do you guys typically shoot?
Definitely a closed set.
Mhm.
I'd say, I mean, our crew, we're such a tight little family now. We have the way we do things, and we're really sort of, we're a tight knit little crew that makes it happen together.
Was there any one specific point you hope to get across to people with this project? I mean, the idea of no men in the world is interesting.
Mhm.
For sure, most definitely. Gosh, I have to think about that for a second. Let's see. I mean, really, just the concept was sort of funny, because we obviously can't do without men for for various reasons, but it was really neat to see. God, this is all so stupid what I'm saying. Can we cut all that?
Yeah, I'll cut it out. No worries. All good.
I have to honestly, can we think about that for a second?
Of course.
What'd you say?
That's what editing is for.
I mean, I can't say that we necessarily really wanted to convey anything.
We'll go past it. Was there I'll cut it out. Was there a specific performance from one of the people that surprised you?
Ooh.
I thought Marika was very emotional and was very great at her character.
She really was. And she came in, we had to recast, I believe it was due to illness. And gosh, we knew, having worked with her in the past, she's such a great actor and she really commits. And for this role in particular, it was a very sad story. She was she married Casey Calvert's character. She married a man to come to the States, and she was a lesbian, and they tried having this relationship, and she eventually, goes to him and says, look, I just can't feel this way about you. I just, I wish I could. And it was very sad. She actually, her performance brought me to tears. It was so intense and so real. And she really commits to what she does. She really does. It's awesome.
And probably a redundant question because I've did it for 30 years, but do you think adult actors or actresses don't get the respect they deserve when it comes to acting?
100%. I mean, not everyone is a great actor, but there are some out there that just really knock our socks off every time. And those are the folks that we often try to rehire as much as we can.
Let's talk about Anatomic. Can you tell me background on the company?
Uh, so basically, we've been doing custom since about 2011.
Dan shot content for various websites, you know, earlier on, and let's see, we stopped shooting content because we started to receive requests for custom videos, and of course, at the time, let's see, gosh, webmasters and stuff, they really weren't paying that much at that point, and we weren't really getting great gigs. And Dan said, hey, you know, let's change our business model up and let's see how this custom thing goes. And it just went from there. Just sort of, it really took off for us. And up until we started shooting for Gamma, that's basically all we did was shoot customs from 2011 to 2020 ish.
And Dan, you were a production photographer before that? Adult stuff?
Yeah.
Did that play into you going into custom stuff, or did you just get tired of shooting production stills and you wanted to do something else?
It is kind of soul sucking to shoot like just the same thing over and over and over and over, but
Same formula.
at the same time, that was around 2009.
Yeah.
When you know the content world wasn't great, and
Right.
and just we started getting more and more requests for, because we had a content website up, and we finally started marketing ourselves.
Early on, we really didn't market ourselves at all. It was,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that we actually were able to build our business by not really marketing ourselves much. But Dan also started out early, I guess it was early aughts. He was a webmaster for a big milk site back in the day. And then he started shooting for them, and I joined him, all that good stuff.
And when you did production stills, did you prefer to get more artsy fartsy, excuse my language? Or did you like, I'll say Dino 101 for sake of discussion, you know, people who just wanted the explicit photos? Did you have a preference between the two?
Yeah, artsy all the way.
Absolutely. That's actually how Dan and I sort of started collaborating on things together. Is we would come up with a concept or be inspired by something we saw or a location or a painting or whatever, and we'd find the perfect talent for it, and create with them.
That's when we weren't making money.
Yeah, that was not paid. Definitely not paid, but it was very fulfilling, and I think that's how we sort of learned how to
do that.
Yeah, how to work with one another, and we're able to see how we complement one another as far as our skill sets are concerned.
And you mentioned you started doing custom work. Was it for a company? Was it for a performer?
No,
Just for us.
Just for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it early on, like it was sort of crazy. One of the first things we got was this massive 20-guy blow bang.
Right.
And this custom client stuck around for a while, and we shot a few different huge blow bangs, and that sort of just threw us into the fire, and we were like, yep, we can do it.
And for you, is the challenge from a production angle, or that you can pull it off? You know, like some performers don't think that they can do it. And then some people, like I would do work for people, and I love the crazy ideas because I just want to see if I can pull it all together.
Oh yeah, that's it, for sure. We're like, when we get something, we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? Map it out. And we're like, fuck yeah. Whether, I mean, especially earlier on is stuff that we hadn't done before. We just be like, yep, we can do it. I would just take it on and figure it out. Kind of, this saying is kind of silly, but it was, you know, a lot of fake it till you make it sort of thing.
Craziest request you got for a customer? You said, even for you, this is too far out there.
Too far out there sort of stuff that we won't do is always stuff that's illegal, or Dan and I aren't really, we're not very skilled as far as like BDSM stuff is concerned. So
Yeah,
generally
a lot
speaking,
of that.
no, it's just we're not We're not,
It's not our thing.
it's
really.
not really our thing. Yeah. But so gosh. Yeah, the stuff we decline is just always stuff we feel uncomfortable with or stuff that's illegal. But as far as our like craziest requests that we've taken, oh my goodness. And we've learned
It's hard
that,
to figure out what the crazy one is because they're just so different and
Yeah.
so, I don't know, some of them are just kind of normal. Like one request we had of a girl vacuuming the floor and the couch.
yes, but focusing more on the sofa, and it had to be a very specific canister vacuum. He didn't like upright vacuums because they're not sexy. Another really sort of simple thing that we never thought that anyone could fetishize is a woman exasperated about a fly in her house, and she's swatting at this imaginary fly that she can't get, and that's all it was.
That's me actually, but that's another discussion.
Is that you?
No, I do interviews and content stuff in my house, and that one little fly gets in the house and drives me crazy. And I use compressed air. I'm chasing around the house with a can of compressed air. I go through fly swatters like nothing. So yeah, that's me.
That's a brilliant idea. Okay, no,
That's funny.
we need to cast him for some.
And the BDSM thing, I know a bunch of people if you ever really want to know, but I did a clip with the girl one time where I was in a dog cage and she had no idea what to do, so we handed her a whip.
Oh,
And I kind of crouched down because we couldn't get the top and they didn't want to shoot over and see it open. So she'd be hitting the side of the cage. And the trick for us was not to laugh for 12 or 15
Yeah.
minutes.
We get that because there are so many things we want to laugh about, and actually we do laugh every single day. That's
Yeah,
one.
sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes a model will do something and it's really funny and just the camera shakes a little just because I'm just dying.
Yeah. Some of the spontaneous sort of stuff that talent says, especially.
That's the best stuff to me though. But
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And oh my God, yeah. Sometimes trying to hold back laughter is really hard,
Yeah.
especially working with Casey Calvert. We've worked with her a lot on customs, and oh my God, she's hilarious.
Yeah.
and do you have an OnlyFans? Do you have the various platforms?
We have some platforms. We don't have an OnlyFans.
That's just
By choice?
What was that?
Is that by choice?
Yeah, for the most part.
Like we don't really have the kind of what we need to sort of run it daily.
Yeah, we would have to have much more support. Like we do have a couple of part-time coordinators that help us out with well, one helps us out with our adult time gamma stuff, and one helps us with our custom stuff. But we definitely need a bigger team if we were to dive into the OnlyFans thing. I think the thing that's the thing about it that's most overwhelming to me is just that having to respond so quickly.
Yes, absolutely. Turnaround's the key.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll explore the OnlyFans thing.
How does the collaboration come up with Gamma?
How did it come up?
Yeah.
I think Bree asked if we wanted a channel first.
Was it the channel first?
I think we had a channel in there for a while first.
Okay, but before she asked us about the competition.
The sporting Olympics.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we
it?
had a channel for a while, and then she was like, "Do you guys want to do the sporting Olympics?"
Okay, because we were approached by her via email, and we got our Anatomic Media channel launched, and we hadn't met her in person yet, and saw her at XBiz, went and introduced ourselves, and she mentioned that she had a project that she really wanted to have us work on, and it's not something that I'm not.
We shouldn't talk about it, maybe.
Oh no, we shouldn't.
I'm just not.
Just in general.
Yeah.
There was a project she wanted us to do before the pandemic hit. Then the pandemic hit, and it was kind of like,
Yeah.
that got shelved.
I would still love to do it.
I would still
That would be
love
great.
to do it. It's a really fun concept. And so then the pandemic hit. Dan and I, we left California for about 6 months to spend time with family. Didn't shoot for a long time, and they contacted us about doing these virtually directed videos with talent during the, you know, the height of the
Right.
pandemic. So we did some of those, and then they approached us to actually shoot, you know, content for them. So we not moved back. We came back to California and just sort of hit the ground running with them.
And now, how frequently do you guys shoot? Do you shoot once a week, twice a week? Do you shoot?
It's like 6 days a month. So we'll usually do like 3 days and then another 3 days. But on occasion we get special projects like, you know, promotional shoots and that sort of thing. So it varies some.
And do you, when you shoot something, are you purposely trying to get away from it? How do I say this? Looking like an adult film, where it's almost more mainstream.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. We definitely go for the more cinematic look.
Do you think there's a bigger market for that than just adult stuff? I would say.
Mm,
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Like it sort of goes in cycles, I guess, and we just like it.
Yeah, we like it a lot. I mean, I may be wrong on this, but it seemed like story-driven stuff sort of fell by the wayside for a while, and then made a resurgence of
Yeah,
sorts.
it might be. I think it might be back now.
Yeah. Yes, we love it. Like the sort of the sex is sort of secondary.
Oh, you don't want to know. You so don't want to know. Anyway, at this point with projects like from Gamma and stuff, do you get a lot of stuff pitched to you, or is this like something, you know, maybe we thought you guys would be perfect for?
What they usually do is they'll give us a production order, basically scenes that they want us to produce for them, and it really varies. Like 2 months ago, it was almost all pure taboo. This last month was almost all modern day sins. So I think it just varies depending on what they need. But I guess some of our pure taboo stuff has been received well, and our modern day sin stuff has been received well. So maybe that's why we're getting more of it. I'm not quite sure.
And Dan, I was a photographer for 20 years, 15. Did the
Also,
AVNs, the X's, all that stuff. When I went into video, I shot more from a photographer's perspective, if that makes any sense.
mhm.
Do you typically approach it the same way, or do you do differently?
Yeah, I think so. The shot's kind of most important to me. That's why I don't like directing as much.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you typically shoot, do you do your master first? Well, I shoot master, then I do what I call ping pong. It's like if I'm shooting hardcore,
Yeah, pretty much.
tight, tight, wide, and just keep
Yeah.
going.
Mhm.
And then when as I edit, I just put it down on the timeline, chop, 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 put it together.
Yeah.
and done.
Yeah.
Dan and Barrett work so well together. They're like,
Mhm.
it's awesome.
A typical content thing, how long does it take to do? A day, 2 days?
As far as like adult time stuff is concerned,
No, if someone had a content shoot for you, custom. Take two. A typical custom shoot for you guys, how long does it take to do?
it really varies. Like some days we'll just have sort of a day of 15-minute clips of various different stuff that we'll shoot. So we'll often,
We'll do like 4.
yeah, like 4 custom clips in one day, or we'll have like one sex scene. It really depends. So, you know, we might have just an 8-hour day. We could have a 10-hour day. I mean, we've produced feature-length customs, many feature-length customs, and few have been 2-day shoots,
Phew.
pretty long days, but yeah, it varies, just runs the gamut.
When you shoot sex, do you guys prefer, both of you, I'm sorry, do you prefer to block stuff out, or do you just kind of let your performers go and capture it?
I personally, I like to let the talent flow with it. Sometimes depending on the scene that we're shooting, it may call for like specific actions that we need to hit, of course, but really we both think it comes off so much more naturally if we just let them flow with it.
And for you, what is a good sex scene? Is a sex scene perfectly lit? Is a sex scene where you can feel the energy and the passion and all that?
I'd say energy and passion. I mean, of course, we want it as perfect as we can make it with lighting and setting and everything. I mean, the whole package is really important to us. But
Mhm.
But you know, when there's chemistry, intensity, something that always makes me really happy is when performers really kiss, like actual kissing, because we get a lot of just little licks.
Point kisses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so when there's that passion and like real kissing, I get so happy. You'll see me going over the corner.
And can you guys, I'm sorry, can you tell pretty much when I shoot, I can tell within the first minute and a half, 2 minutes, whether this is really going to get interesting or people are just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Honestly, we can almost tell from the start of the day,
Yeah.
get an idea of what the day might be. Sometimes we're surprised, you know, but yeah, you can usually tell pretty quick.
Mhm.
For you, when a thing isn't moving along, how do you guys politely amp it up?
Well, that's when people are distracted.
Yeah, when everybody's distracted, someone will go. And that just gets everybody's attention.
That's what kindergarten teachers do.
Yeah.
That's one of our ways to wrangle the kittens. But to move things along, like as far as like energy wise, that sort of thing,
Yes.
intensity, you know, usually we'll pause, we'll talk about it, ask for it. Not necessarily everyone is capable in the moment, perhaps. Maybe they're just not in the right space. It's always hard to tell, but you know, there's only so much you can do without hurting someone's feelings.
Yes.
I mean, we really like to tread lightly on that and really respect them and make sure they feel comfortable and safe. And so the last thing we want to do is say something shitty, because that's
Oh no, I will typically, if I can interrupt, I will typically shoot reaction shots and shoot them very quickly so they think we're just doing pickups.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I can always go back with Dino 101 and cut around it with a nice happy face.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do a wide, soft, and then just cut inside of it.
Yeah.
So even if it's bad when you started, trust me, it'll be a lot better when it's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And typically, depending on the running time I need for the scene. No, if
Mhm.
it's going to a platform, I tend to keep them shorter, 10, 12 minutes. If it's going for a movie, depends on production company, how many versions they want and all of that.
Yeah.
But typically like girl stuff that doesn't work when you have girls who are gay for pay and you just know they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'll pull teeth if I have to, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
I'll never really go off on somebody. It's just not my personality.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like people around me will know I'm getting pissed. And it's kind of like, okay, we need to finish this. Like we just need to finish this.
Sometimes we have to do that, you know, usually like for a sex scene for adult time in particular, we always try to go for like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
But if things are starting to peter out, you can just tell that energy is not there.
Yeah.
We're not going to squeeze that out of anyone because it's just,
Oh, no. I'll shoot softcore reactions. I'll get around it.
yeah.
So, is there a website page people can find more information about Women's World?
Adult time?
Well, yeah, an adult time. And I think, do they have womensworld.com? I can't recall. But it does direct you just straight to adult time when you go to the site. So
I'm the type of person when I shoot, I always learn things from each shoot as I go along. I apply them to the next one. Is there anything you guys maybe learned from this shoot that you'd apply to the next one? Shooting, scheduling, budgets, casting.
I personally can't pinpoint anything in particular, but I think
I'm sure we learned so much
oh
through
yeah,
the course of it. I can't pick one.
yeah. I mean,
we are kind of learning a lot every day, you know, when
100%.
we do it.
Absolutely. I mean, we're sponges for knowledge and experience, and you know, it's important to us to continue to grow and grow and grow. So I'd say we're constantly learning, constantly, and experience is what teaches. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're getting into award season in porn. You guys pay attention to that? Does it matter?
Well, to us personally, like it's personally never been a very important aspect of what we do. I mean, there were, I guess, maybe about 5 years ago, we ourselves, Anatomic Media, had a number of nominations, AVN nominations,
Okay.
which was cool. Well, there were 3, something like, I can't remember. And that was nice. We've not been nominated for anything since. But it would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for this project with Women's World, there are so many people involved, from pre-production to production to post-production, so many people. And
And everybody worked hard.
fuck yeah, everyone worked hard, really. I mean, I was so impressed with the resources and tools they gave us to help us dive into production. It was really wonderful. We felt really supported along the way, and everyone is just so helpful.
I have that Hollywood question that I always ask. Is there anything coming up for you guys that you can talk about?
Can talk about it? Adult time wise, I'm not sure. As far as Anatomic's concerned, we do have some fun productions coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them in particular is it's a girls' school concept, but it's like it has kind of like an Eyes Wide Shut vibe.
We have a wedding coming up.
Oh, that's right.
Wedding coming up.
It will be? Yay. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, we shot this awesome wedding scene
Right
like
before the pandemic.
right before the pandemic, literally right before it hit. And we were, oh my God, we had so much fun with it. It was very challenging though. We had a full bridal party. We had 20 wedding guest extras. It was the wedding ceremony, the reception, and the concept is the bride is sort of, she almost had sort of a split personality, her character.
Yeah.
Like she'd be this loving, devoted wife, and then you see her like, sucking off the best man around the corner, and then it becomes a gangbang in front of all the wedding guests. It's a lot of fun.
If people want to work with you, you have an email, website, anything that can get a hold of you?
Anatomicmedia.com.
And also customfetishvideos.com. And our email address is anatomicstudios@gmail.com. And that's anatomic with a K, not a C.
Social media platforms, what are your handles?
We're on Twitter
Mhm.
at Anatomic Media. Our everything else has been shut down. So that's
Yeah.
basically all we've got.
September 2022, are you guys happy where the company's at? Are you happy with the growth? Are you happy?
I'd say, yeah.
Absolutely. You mean our own company?
Yeah, just so you guys, you get into this thing, we all have our dreams and ideas. And then different people have different ideas of what success is.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I'd say we're really happy. We've been doing this for a long time together, and we've definitely grown, and now we've built this wonderful, wonderful team. Our crew is absolutely amazing. We honestly couldn't do it without them, and we feel really grateful for them. It's really neat to do things on a bigger scale, for sure.
Women's World comes out from Gamma Film sometime in September, I believe. Is that correct? I mean, I'll cut this all out, but I'm just
It's
checking
out.
It's out.
It's out.
Yeah.
That's all. I'll cut this part out.
All 4 episodes have come out already.
Thank you both very much for your time. A couple quick editorial questions. Other than the obvious stuff, I'll cut out the hiccups and stuff. Is there anything we discussed you guys were unhappy with? Anything I need to take out?
I said some stupid things. Just take out
No,
everything.
you didn't. Trust me. Trust me. You're fine. You don't know who you're talking to when it comes to stupid. Okay, trust me. I put my foot in my mouth too many times. Okay, so you're fine.
I try not to say much so I don't do that.
Oh, no, I forget in adult, we're off record anyway now, but I forget in adult how much politics and ass kissing goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm from Chicago, and my parents raised me to A, go to work and let your work speak for itself. And B, always keep your word.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you come to California, and these people don't shut up. They don't do any work. And it's like you guys know from producing, it's amazing anything gets done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
with all
Yeah,
the drama and the
sometimes-
headaches and just all of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's certainly
Sometimes
are.
it's like 2 o'clock. We haven't shot anything. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. In the 90s, I spent literally 5 straight years, 7 days a week on set.
Oh,
So I reached a point where I went back to Chicago. I destroyed my apartment in Hollywood. I was just so burned out and just didn't want to hear about it. I went back to Chicago. My parents lived by this lake, and I just watched the ducks go by in the lake for like a month.
that's awesome.
It
That's-
was just like, okay, I can go back to this now.
That sounds amazing. Honestly, I think the pandemic helped us.
Yeah,
And
we
that-
had a decent time during the pandemic.
We did. That first 6 months, we hit the road and went and stayed with Dan's parents in central Illinois. They have a lake and live in the forest, and it was just great. We were watching the ducks go by.
Yeah.
So we came back ready to do
Ready
it.
to do it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree with me, but the talent now, I always figured technology gets smarter, people get smarter generation to generation to generation. Some of these people aren't so smart now, I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to dealing with some of the female performers, no disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just amazed, like they've got so many business opportunities and so many ways to make money.
Yeah.
Like none of them treat this as a business.
No.
Uh-uh.